Good morning, children. Welcome to sociology class. Children, we are studying the chapter social processes. In this chapter, we are studying about three social processes: cooperation, competition, and conflict. We have already studied about cooperation, their characteristics, and competition and their characteristics. Now let us begin with the third social process, that is called conflict. What is conflict? Conflict is an ever-present process in human relations. It is one of the forms of a struggle between individuals or groups. Conflict takes place whenever a person or group seeks to gain a reward not by surpassing other competitors but by preventing them from effectively competing. So this is the meaning of conflict. Now we'll be discussing some definitions. First one, given by A.W. Green, says conflict is the deliberate attempt to oppose, resist, or coerce the will of another or others. Again, I am repeating, conflict is the deliberate attempt to oppose, resist, or coerce the will of another or others, by A.W. Green. Now another definition by Gillen and Gillen. Conflict is the social process in which individuals or groups seek their ends by directly challenging the antagonist by violence or threat of violence. So these two definitions explain that conflict is a deliberate or a conscious action or attempt to oppose someone, to resist someone, or coerce the will of other persons or other groups. Now, we are going to discuss the nature and characteristics of conflict. First, conflict is universal. Conflict or clash of interest is universal in nature. It is found everywhere. It is present in almost all the societies. In some societies, conflict may be very acute and vigorous, while in other societies it may be very mild. Karl Marx, who is the architect of communism, has said that the history of hitherto existing human society is nothing but the history of class struggle, which is an example of conflict. He has mentioned the capitalist and the laborers as belonging to two distinct social classes which have mutually opposite interests. So he gives this best example of conflict between the capitalist and the workers or laborers. So this is the first characteristic of conflict. Now second is, conflict is a conscious action. Individuals and groups who are involved in conflict are aware of the fact that they are conflicting. Park and Burgess have pointed out conflict is always conscious and evokes the deepest emotions and strongest passions. Third feature is conflict is personal. When competition is personalized, it leads to conflict. In the struggle to overcome the other person or group, the goal is temporarily relegated to a level of secondary importance. So it becomes something personal. Next is, conflict is not continuous but intermittent. Conflict never takes place continuously. It takes place occasionally. No society can sustain itself in a state of continuous conflict. So we have seen that it is not continuous, but it is only for the time being. Then next is conflict is conditioned by culture. Conflict is affected by the nature of the group and its particular culture. The objects of conflicts may be property, may be power and status, freedom of action and thought, or any other highly desired value. When the stability of a political order is threatened, political conflict may be the result. So, the beginning of the conflict is from the culture, we can say. Next is conflict may be in small groups or large groups. Conflict may assume a variety of forms. We may observe conflicts between two individuals, families, classes, races, nations, and groups of nations. It may take place between smaller or larger groups. So, in any type of group, conflict can take place. Then next is frustration and insecurity promote conflicts. Sometimes factors like frustration and insecurity promote conflicts within the same society. Individuals feel frustrated if they are thoroughly disturbed in their attempts to reach their goals. These goals may be desire for power, position, prestige, status, wealth, money, etc. Insecurities like economic crisis, unemployment, the fear of deprivation of love and affection may add to the frustration. So, all these are the main characteristics of conflict. I repeat, conflict is universal. Second, conflict is a conscious action. Third, conflict is personal. Conflict is not continuous, it is only intermittent. Then, conflict is conditioned by culture. Next, conflict may be in small groups as well as large groups. And last, frustration and insecurity promote conflicts. Now, in the next part of this video, we shall discuss the types of conflict in short. So that there are many types of conflict. The first one is corporate and personal conflict. Sometimes the conflicts take place personally, means from within one person to another, and sometimes it occurs within the groups. If it occurs within the groups, it is called corporate, and if it occurs between two persons or between two families, we call it personal conflict. Then second is latent and overt conflict. We see that before a conflict takes a formal shape and we understand that it is a conflict, it remains in latent form or in the hidden form. Conflict is going on, but nobody can understand that there is some conflict. So it occurs within the society. When two individuals or two groups interact with one another, they may develop opposite or anti-feelings or dissatisfaction towards each other, and it may give birth to conflict. So sometimes it is in a hidden form and sometimes it becomes overt, means everybody can experience that type of conflict. Then next is class conflict. If the conflict takes place within the classes, generally there are higher class, middle class, lower class, and generally we see that the conflict takes place between the capitalist and the workers. Capitalists belong to high class and the workers belong to low class. So this type of conflict is called class conflict. Then racial conflict. Different groups of human beings have various physiological characteristics depending on their place of habitation, and in accordance with their characteristics they develop cultural and also social traits. So this gives birth to races. When this conflict occurs between two different races, if some races are considered as superior and other races are considered as inferior, then this type of conflict takes place. Each racial group claims itself as the superior one and try to improve the superiority by force. So this gives birth to racial conflict. And then next is caste conflict. Caste is a hierarchy which is maintained among the caste, and upper caste superiority is unquestionably imposed and accepted by all the members. But sometimes when there are differences or anti-feelings within the caste, taking their superiority and inferiority feeling, and then this type of conflict is called caste conflict. Next is international conflict. When the conflict takes place between two countries or some groups of countries, it is called international conflict. So these are the different types of conflict. At the end of this chapter, we shall discuss the differences between these three social processes: cooperation, competition and conflict. So let us discuss the differences between competition and conflict. Competition is a process of seeking to monopolize a reward by overtaking all rivals. This is competition. But what is conflict? Conflict is a process of seeking to possess a reward by weakening or eliminating all rivals. Second difference is competition. Competition may be conscious or unconscious, but conflict is always a conscious activity. Third, competition is universal as well as continuous, but conflict is universal but not continuous. It is intermittent for the time being. Fourth, in competition, the attention of an individual is concentrated on the object or the goal. But in conflict, the concentration is on the person rather than the object. So it is personal in nature. Competition is impersonal, but conflict is personal. Fifth difference is competition may lead to positive as well as negative results, but conflict mostly brings negative results. Then the last point is competition, when becomes rigorous, results in conflicts. Competition when become personalized, it leads to conflicts. So these are the main differences between competition and conflict. Now the differences between cooperation and conflict. This part is very important. Cooperation refers to joint activity to achieve a common goal or shared rewards. Conflict is a process of seeking to monopolize our reward by weakening or destroying the other competitors. Then second, cooperation may be conscious or unconscious, but conflict is mostly conscious in nature. Third, Cooperation requires sympathy and identification, kindness and consideration for others. But conflict is always associated with the deepest emotions and the strongest sentiments. In it, there is no regard for others. Fourth point, cooperation is universal and continuous in nature. Conflict is universal, but it is not continuous. Then fifth point, cooperation brings mostly positive results, but conflict brings mostly negative results. Then next point, cooperation is basic to group life. There can be no society without cooperation. Conflict is not fundamental to the group life of man. Society can persist without it. So all these are the main differences between cooperation and conflict. Now, lastly, we shall discuss the differences between cooperation and competition. Cooperation refers to a form of social interaction wherein two or more persons work together to gain a common end or common goal. Competition is a form of social interaction wherein the individuals try to monopolize rewards by surpassing all the rivals. So there is no cooperation. Second, cooperation is always based on combined or joint efforts of the people. Competition can take place at the level of the group and also at the level of individual. Third, cooperation normally brings about positive results. It rarely causes losses to the individuals involved in it. Third, for competition, though competition can bring about positive results, it can cause damages or losses to the parties and persons involved. Fourth point, cooperation is boundless. It has no limitations. One can go to any extent to help others. But competition has its own limitations. It is bound by norms. Limitless or unregulated competition can cause much harm. Then, next point, cooperation brings people satisfaction and contentment. But competition may cause satisfaction as well as dissatisfaction, anxiety, and indefiniteness and also uncertainty. So all these are the differences between cooperation, competition and conflict.